Welcome to another set of video notes. Today we've moved on to how to find slope and rate of change. Now I hope the word slope is kind of familiar. We hinted at it the other day. Remember, slope is how steep the line is, or how fast it goes up or goes down, how fast it changes. Hopefully this isn't a brand new idea for you, but we'll practice and maybe it will be something you go, oh yeah, I remember this. All right, to find slope, what we're going to look for right now are 2 points. You notice points require 2 coordinates, an x and a y, and an x and a y. We've added the little 1s and the little 2s to help you know this is a part of the first point, and these come from the second point. Here's the formula for slope, and we abbreviate slope with an M, which kind of seems weird until you think about a mountain has a slope, mountain, so there's your M. Okay? The formula is just y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Sometimes you've heard this called rise over run, or you have to rise before you can run. Or this is how much it goes up or down versus how far it goes over. Whatever way works to help remember it, that's fine. This formula can go on your study card. Notice one of the big things, y's have to be up top, x's have to be on the bottom. The other big thing that people tend to mess up is you should see a point. When you look here, x and y, are they in the same point? Yes, they are. Are these x and y's in the same point? Yes, they are. That's the other important thing. Now, slope is not just a fun number to find, because it is a fun number, but the other thing is it gives you some ideas. If you have a positive slope, if the number you get is positive, it's going to look something like this, and we're going to say it rises as you move left to right. If it is a negative slope, it's going to look something like this. It's going to, or it falls as it goes from left to right. If it winds up with a zero slope is going to be like this. In other words, it's horizontal. And the last idea is if it's undefined slope, which think about. Zero slope, you'd have a 0 up top. Okay, you don't go up and down at all. When do you get that undefined or that error on a calculator? If you divide by 0. So it doesn't change from left to right. It's going to be a vertical line. This also can go on your study card because these might be important things you'd want to check. Right now we're getting ready to do some examples. We're just going to put them into the formula and decide, is the line rising, falling, is it horizontal, is it vertical? So, one thing you might want to do is label everything. That seems to help. So x1, y1, what's the 4? Yep, it's x, and since it's in the second pair, we'll make it x2, y2. So now we're going to put the numbers in. What goes up top? y2. So -1 minus 6. And that's all over x2. So we've got to have 4 minus 1. Notice the y's are up top, the x's are on the bottom, and you see -1 and 4 together, -1 and 4 are together. You see 6 and 1 together, 6 and 1 are together. Now, pretty easy math, -1 minus 6 is -7, 4 minus 1 is 3. So, -7 divided by 3, some funky negative number. So, which one of these does it look like? This one. It's a negative slope, so it falls. Okay? We're going to do a few more of these. Let's come over here to this one. We've got x1, y1, x2, y2. And now we start plugging them in. What do we put in the formula first? y2, which is 3. What do we put in next? y1, which is 0. Please remember, you're going to put that subtraction sign. We've got x2, which is 8. And we've got minus x1, which is 1. and we get 3/7. Now, what kind of number is that? Is that positive, negative? Is it a 0? Is it undefined? Well, it's a positive, so this is a graph that would rise, or we say it rises. Okay, let's try this one. Now, I'm going to pause for a minute. If we were in class, I'd wait and have you answer this. -5, what should I label it? X1, Y2, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. X1, wonderful. This one's going to be Y1. So what's this? Is this an X or a Y in the pair? Oh, it's an X, and it's the second point, so we call it X2. This one is Y2. Let's plug them in. What do we put in first? Y2, you say? I thought I heard that. So 1 minus Y1, which is 3. Let's go and do X2. It's -5 minus a -5. Well, here we go. 1 minus 3 is 2. -5 minus a -5, well, that's like adding. Oh, no, this is 0. So this is one of those vertical lines. And we know it's just going to go up and down. Okay? Let's go ahead and do this one. I'd still label. You've got X1, Y1, X2, and Y2. Okay? And next we need to plug them in. So 2 minus 2 all over -9 minus 9. Well, what is 2 minus 2? 0. -9 minus 18, excuse me, I'm giving away the ending. -9 minus 9 is -18. So this is just 0. And we know that a 0 slope means that it's a horizontal line. Okay? Hopefully that's not too tricky. We're going to use the idea of slope to judge something else. Okay? This also can go on your cards. Parallel lines have equal slopes. Okay? Perpendicular lines have slopes that multiply to give the answer -1. So in other words, they have to be reciprocals of each other. And one has to be positive. And one has to be negative. One has to be positive. The other has to be negative. Okay? Now, let's look over here at our lines. Do you see some that might have a relationship? We'll call this one line L. We'll call this line H. We'll call this line S. We'll call this line N. Okay? Well, let's see. L has a slope of -7/3, and this one has a slope of 3/7. Are they equal? No. But if you notice, do you see anything else? Oh, they're kind of flipped. Oh yeah, so they're reciprocals. One's negative and one's positive. So we can say that line L would be perpendicular. That's my abbreviation for perpendicular. That's what perpendicular looks like. Line L is perpendicular to line H. Okay? I'm going to give you one more point. We're going to call it line C. It's got a pair of points, and we're going to do 2, 5, and then we're going to do 9. I'm going to do really easy numbers so it comes out quick. Okay? 9, 8. Well, let's label X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Okay, so 8 minus 5 over 9 minus 2. Hey, 3/7. So you see a relationship between line C and the others? Yeah, line C would be parallel to H. See anything else? Oh, you're so smart. C is also perpendicular to H. Okay? Now, just a little note. lines that have a zero slope are going to be parallel. Any two lines that are both undefined will be parallel, so if they fit in the same category for these, you're good. A horizontal and a vertical are perpendicular. Okay, we've got one more idea, and then we'll be done with this set of notes. So we're going to look at, it's called average rate of change. We don't do this a whole lot, but I'd like you to hear. Rate of change means change of first variable over change of second. Okay? And if you think about this, a change, and you're dividing, it's just a fancy word for slope. Okay? So I've got a little example here. In 2010, pollution was 1.4 parts per million. Those of you in chemistry, you might hear this or you'll hear it soon. By 2012, it's risen to 2.8 parts per million. So my question is, what's the rate of change in parts per million from 2010 to 2012? So, change in parts per million, that's going to go up top, 2.8 minus 1.4. And what were the years? Well, when it was 2.8, it was 2012. And when it was 1.4, it was 2010. So let's see, 2.8 minus 1.4, 1.4, divided at 2. What is 1.4 divided by 2? 0.7. So you could think of that as 0.7, or since we actually kind of like fractions when we're doing slope, we know for every 7 units you go up, it's going to go over 10. Okay? So that's your average rate of change, 7/10. All right? We will practice this the next time in class, and see you later. Bye.